content aware patch and move, content aware patch and move. For information about the edit and content aware fill option introduced in Photoshop CC 20.0 October 2018 release, see remove objects from your photo with content aware fill. And what about content aware patch? Content aware patch is meaning that the patch tool is used to remove unwanted image elements, and the content aware option in the patch tool synthesizes nearby content for seamless blending with the surrounding content. And what about legacy? Legacy is meaning for information about using the patch tool in versions earlier than Photoshop CS6. See patch and area. And what about fix photos? Fix photos with content aware. We have two options, two steps. Number one, in the toolbar, hold down the spot healing brush and then select the patch tool. And step number two, in the option bar, do one of the following. We have content aware patch options. We have patch is meaning that you have to choose content aware to select the content aware option. And what about structure? Structure is meaning enter. You can enter a value between 1 and 7 to specify how closely the patch should reflect existing image patterns. And if you enter 7, the patch adheres very strongly to existing image patterns. And if you enter 1, the patch adheres very loosely to the existing image patterns. And what about color? Color is meaning you can enter a value between 0 and 10 to specify the extent to which you want Photoshop to apply algorithmic color and blending to the patch. If you enter 0, color blending is disabled, by the way, and the color value of 10 applies maximum color blending. So what about symbol all layers? Symbol all layers is meaning you can enable this option to create the result of the move in another layer using information from all layers and select the target layer in the layers panel. Step number 3, select an area to replace on the image, and you can use the patch tool to draw a selection or use any of the other selection tools as well. Step number 4, drag the selection over the area you want to generate a fill from. So what about content aware move? Content aware move is meaning that you can use the content aware move tool to select and move a part of a picture, and the image is recomposed and the whole left behind is filled using matching elements from the picture. And you don't need, by the way, you don't need to carry out intensive edits involving layers and complex selections. And also you can use the content aware move tool in two modes. You can use content aware move tool in two modes. You can use the moved mode to place objects in different locations, by the way, and most effectively when the background remains similar. And after that, you can use the extend mode to expand or contract objects such as hair and trees or buildings. To best extend architectural objects, use photos shot on a parallel plane and rather than at an angle. And from an expert using content aware move and fill. We have two steps. Step number 1. In the toolbar, hold down the spot healing brush and then select the content aware move tool. Step number 2. In the options bar, do one of the following. We have mode. Mode is meaning use. You can use the moved mode to place selected objects at the different location, and use the extend mode to expand or contract objects. And what about structures? What's the meaning of structure? Structure is meaning you can enter a value between 1 and 7 to specify how closely the patch should reflect existing image patterns. And if you enter 7, the patch adheres very strongly to existing image patterns, by the way. And if you enter 1, the patch adheres very closely to the existing image patterns. So what about color? Color is meaning that you can to enter a value between 0 and 10 to specify the extent to which you want Photoshop to apply algorithmic color blending to the patch. And if you enter 0, color blending is disabled, and the color value of 10 applies maximum color blending, like this screenshot, like this image now. We have A and P, and A without color blending. A is meaning without color blending in the left side, and in the right side P is meaning with color blending. We have two options, with color blending and without color blending, A and P. And what about sample all layers? Sample all layers is meaning that you can to enable this option to use information from all layers to create the result of the move in the selected layer and select the target layer in the layers panel. So what about transform on drop? Transform on drop. By the way, when this option is enabled, you can scale the part of the image that you have just moved to the new location, and simply adjust the resizing handles for the moved part of the image. Step number 3. Select an area to move or extend. You can use the move tool to draw a selection, or use any of the other selection tools as well. Step number 4. You can to drag the selection to the area you want to place the objects.